Hello everyone and welcome back to our OptiFast Lifestyle Education Series. Today we're going to be talking about eating out. Now, we always say try to minimize eating out. Usually eating out is not going to be as healthy as the meals that you can prepare at home because they don't usually contain as much fiber or fruits or vegetables as the food that you can make at home, and they usually have more calorie and fat content. But eating out is, it's inevitable and it's part of, our lives and part of our social life, and sometimes can be part of our work life too. We kind of think of it as two different ways of eating out. One is eating out that you do for necessity. For example, you might be out on a vacation and you're physically away from home, or you might be traveling for work, or you might just have a really long day away from home, with the kids, travel soccer, or whatever it is. And so you're away from home at a mealtime. So eating out might be a necessary thing that you have to do. In those situations, you want to focus on, eating for necessity. You're eating to nourish yourself, and the meal is the primary thing, or the food is the primary thing. The other kind of category that we want to think of this in our head is eating out for special occasions. For example, eating out for someone's birthday, or eating out, eating over at someone else's home, or I guess that wouldn't really work as much, but eating out, on a rehearsal dinner, something like that. So in that situation, the primary reason why you're there is for the occasion, and the food is secondary. So what can you do to try to kind of help yourself to maintain your health goals and your weight goals, even though, you're eating out occasionally? And you can do this, definitely. You just have to have a little bit of a plan of attack. So for the necessity eating out, you want to try to minimize that as much as possible. Plan ahead. You can, brown bag it, pack your lunches, pack things ahead of time for trips, that you can have healthy snacks that you can have in the car, things like that if you're going on long road trips, so that you don't have to be stopping at fast foods. You can pack meal replacements like your OptiFast bars. You could get a little cooler for your car. You can have, you can put like yogurts in, hard-boiled eggs, baby carrots, low-fat string cheese, stuff like that. Those are all really healthy things that can come, get you through a meal. Also, if you're gonna, but if you do need to eat, at a restaurant, go ahead and look at the menu ahead of time. So if you plan ahead, you're less likely to have other people influence you on what you're going to eat. You might, go to the restaurant and see somebody else's meal and think, that looks really good. Or you might have, certain smells or aromas that entice you. But if you look at the menu ahead of time, you can make a healthy choice, because you can look at the calories, you can look at the macronutrients content, and you can have in your mind already what you're going to order. You want to definitely try to order first, because again, that will help to minimize your chances of other people's food selections influencing what you're going to order. So with special occasions, when you're a couple of tricks that you could do is whenever you're when it's your turn to order your beverage, try to stick to the low-calorie beverages. So, for example, water, unsweetened iced tea, coffee, diet sodas. Also, if you're going to have a cocktail, try to, ahead of time, kind of plan that you're going to limit yourself to one cocktail, or, light beer or something like that. And definitely for men, no more than two. For women, no more than one would kind of be the recommendation there. But have that kind of stop, pre-planned in your mind. Whenever you're selecting your entree, definitely try to pick the entree and try to avoid buffet lines, because that will help to do portion control, and then help so that you're not taking multiple kind of trips back to the buffet line. Whenever you get there, a lot of times there are appetizers and things like that available. So try to avoid the high carb stuff, that it's like bread on the table or chips on the table. A lot of times you can order appetizers that aren't as high in calorie. Like, for example, you could get a shrimp cocktail, or you could get a broth-based soup or a salad. those are all things that you could, have ahead of time. And even before you go out to dinner, you could have a little something before you go, so that whenever you get there, you're not like starving. And that will help to kind of like, if there's delays and things like that at the restaurant. You could also ask for lunch portions if you're there for dinner. A lot of times restaurants will, it's not on the menu, but if you ask, they'll allow you to get a lunch portion rather than a dinner portion. Or if you know somebody else well enough, and you could maybe split an entree with someone else. So that would really help, because a lot of the portions at restaurants for dinners are quite large. So you could split it, or you could even ask the server to half the entree, and before they even bring it out, just bring out half of it served to the table and half of it packed up for you, so that you can take it home, and then you don't even have any kind of craving or temptation to eat more than your fill. So, and then also as far as selecting meals from the menu, you want to go for the ones that are steamed, grilled, broiled, or baked, rather than the fried foods, and try to avoid the sauces and things like that. Or if there are sauces that you like to partake in, have them served on the side, so that you can decide how much you want on your food, rather than putting it on, because sometimes they'll put on quite a bit. So those are just some tips. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask your server or the person who takes you back to your table if you can see the nutrition content for the menu. Most of it's all available. Main restaurants there, it's available online, so you can look at it before you go to the restaurant. But if it's something on the fly, or you forget, or you can always ask for it whenever you get there, and that's all available. So again, don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what they're there for. So again, eating out is just part of our lives. We want to minimize it as much as we can, but there are going to be times whenever we need to eat out, either for necessity or because it's a special occasion and this is important. But there are ways to kind of manage it so that we are not sabotaging ourselves in our efforts to eat a healthy diet and have a healthy lifestyle. All right. Well, I hope that these helped, and good luck. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in clinic, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.